What if I told you the most powerful move after a breakup is no move at all? No desperate text, no emotional call, no last-minute apology, just stillness, just silence. Because silence doesn't say, "I don't care." It says, "I've already let go." And that drives her crazy. Think about it. When someone leaves you, especially if they expect to be chased, they're not really looking for closure. They're testing their control. They want to see if they still pull your strings, if they can make you fall apart. But when you go quiet, when you give them nothing but air and distance, you take the power back without ever lifting a finger. This isn't about games. This isn't about trying to manipulate her into missing you. It's deeper than that. This is about stepping into a mindset grounded in stoicism, where you no longer react from emotion, but from clarity, where you stop seeking external validation and start mastering yourself. Marcus Aurelius didn't say, "Control the world." He said, "Control your mind." The battlefield is internal, and when you win there, the outside world starts to respond. But let's be real, when your heart's shattered and your mind is spinning, silence doesn't feel powerful. It feels like failure, like giving up. And that's exactly where most men break. They reach out, they vent, they try to explain, and with every word, every message, they shrink in her eyes. Not because they're bad men, but because they haven't been taught how attraction really works after a breakup. They haven't learned the art of emotional control or the psychology of regret. That's where this video comes in. I'm going to give you 10 reverse attraction secrets based on Stoic discipline and dark psychology that flip the dynamic completely. You're not going to chase her. You're going to become the man she can't stop thinking about. Not through manipulation, through transformation. Because the moment you stop reacting is the moment she starts wondering. If you're done trying to prove your worth to someone who already walked away, if you're ready to become the loss she didn't expect, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, "I am the one that got away." Now, let's begin. Number 1. Silence screams the loudest. She didn't expect you to disappear. She expected chaos. She expected a reaction, maybe even a meltdown. That long paragraph you almost sent? She was waiting for it. That late night "I miss you" text? She had her phone face up, notifications on, because that's what most men do when they're heartbroken. They reach, they cling, they try to hold on to something that's already slipping away. But when you do the opposite, when you go completely silent, you short-circuit her entire expectation. Here's what makes it hit harder than anything else. Silence can't be argued with. It doesn't give her something to push against. It doesn't fuel her ego. It leaves her with questions. Why isn't he reaching out? Did he move on that fast? Did I even matter to him? And here's where the psychological punch lands. When you stop feeding her your energy, she starts to crave what she once took for granted. She doesn't hear from you. And suddenly, the confidence she had about her decision begins to shake. In dark psychology, this is called pattern interruption. You've broken the script. She expected validation through your pain. Instead, she's left in silence, and the human brain hates open loops. The more space you create, the more tension she feels. And the longer you hold that silence, the more powerful it becomes. You become a question she can't answer, a chapter she never got to finish. Now, from a Stoic perspective, this silence isn't spiteful, it's not passive-aggressive, it's self-respect in motion. You're not going quiet to manipulate, you're going quiet because your peace is worth more than her approval. When a Stoic man is hurt, he doesn't broadcast his suffering, he refines it. He sharpens his focus. He pulls his energy back into himself and lets the silence speak for him. And the truth? You don't owe her closure. You don't owe her the last word. Because the real flex after heartbreak isn't saying the perfect thing, it's walking away like you've already made peace. And when she sees that, when she feels that withdrawal, that's when it starts to eat at her. Number 2, emotional control is the new revenge. She's waiting for the outburst, the meltdown, the emotional overshare, because deep down, she wants proof that she still matters to you, that she still holds space in your head. But when you respond with composure instead of chaos, that's what really shakes her. Emotional control isn't weakness, it's warfare. It's the quiet flex that says, I felt it, but I'm not broken by it. And that unnerves her more than any insult ever could. Most guys, after a breakup, act like emotional puppets, pulled by every thought, every memory, every flash of pain. They let it pour out in texts, phone calls, late-night posts. But a man grounded in stoicism does the opposite. He absorbs the hit and doesn't flinch. He understands that self-control is self-respect. The more control you show, the more confusion you cause, because it sends one signal loud and clear: I don't need you to feel whole. There's a deep psychological twist here too. When someone expects you to break, and you don't, it triggers cognitive dissonance. She remembers how deeply you cared. She was sure you'd fall apart. But now, you're calm, you're moving, you're centered, and that creates a contradiction in her mind. Did he never really love me? Or did I lose a man who knows how to suffer in silence? That kind of confusion doesn't fade fast. It lingers, it replays, it stings. Stoic men understand the power of restraint. They know that showing the world how much pain you're in doesn't heal you, it exposes you. And what's exposed becomes vulnerable. So instead you internalize, you adapt, you elevate. You stop reacting and start responding, with purpose, not panic. You let your discipline do the talking. You want real revenge? Don't scream, don't beg, don't block and unblock. Just become a man she no longer recognizes, evolved, focused, emotionally untouchable, because nothing drives her more insane than realizing the chaos she caused didn't even shake you. Number 3, the scarcity effect. She didn't leave because she stopped caring. She left because she thought she could come back. That's the unspoken truth. She thought you'd wait. She thought you'd stay emotionally available while she explored her options. And that's exactly why pulling away completely messes with her head. When you become scarce, you become valuable. When she feels your absence, not your access, that's when her mind starts working overtime. Psychologically, people chase what's slipping away. It's built into the human brain. Scarcity creates demand. Think about it. When something is always available, you take it for granted. But the moment it's gone, suddenly it becomes precious, rare, wanted. And that's what happens when you stop being emotionally available to someone who expected you to stick around no matter how they treated you. Your attention becomes currency. Your presence becomes power. From a Stoic point of view, this is about detaching from need. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Stop wanting her. Stop needing to be seen. The less you need from her, the more she feels your absence. You flip the script by disappearing from where she once found certainty. The late-night messages, gone. The instant replies, silent. Your energy, now redirected. And that emptiness hits different when she finally realizes you're not just giving her space, you're living without her. This is where the regret begins, because her fantasy of being able to leave and return when convenient starts to collapse. Now she's wondering, did I really lose him? Is he gone for good? Who has his attention now? And that's where attraction is reborn, not from proving your worth, but from removing your access. The second she feels like she no longer has you in her orbit, that's when she starts circling yours. Number 4. Mystery rewrites. Memory. Familiarity kills desire, and when she thinks she knows you front to back, she stops imagining you in any other light. That's why after the breakup, the worst thing you can do is keep showing up exactly the same. Predictable, emotional, accessible. But when you vanish and evolve in silence, her memory of you starts to shift. Because mystery doesn't just create curiosity, it rewrites the past. You have to understand, memory is fluid. It's not a recording, it's a story the brain constantly edits. And when you pull back completely, when she no longer knows what you're doing, who you're seeing, what you're feeling, her brain starts filling in those blanks. And here's the twist. The less she knows, the more intriguing you become. She begins to question what she thought she knew about you. Was he really that emotional? Was I too harsh? Maybe he had more options than I realized. The seed of doubt takes root. And that seed is the beginning of regret. From a psychological perspective, this is about emotional dissonance. When her current perception of you no longer matches the old version she remembers, her brain tries to make sense of it. That gap becomes tension, and tension is what drives obsession. When she thought you were stuck on her, but now sees signs you've moved on, improved, upgraded, she starts mentally chasing the version of you she didn't get to fully explore. Now apply Stoicism to this. You're not creating mystery to bait her back. You're creating mystery because you've turned inward. You've redirected your attention to your purpose, your progress, your inner stillness. Marcus Aurelius didn't announce his greatness. He became it in silence. When you stop broadcasting your pain and start embodying progress, you become a legend in her mind, not a memory she pities, but a mystery she regrets walking away from. So disappear, not to punish her, but to become the kind of man who doesn't explain his value. He lets distance amplify it. Let her wonder, let her imagine, because the unknown version of you, that's the one she can't stop replaying. Number 5. Purpose over pain. Pain is raw energy, and most men waste it. They drown in it, letting it consume their thoughts, their sleep, their self-worth. But the ones who rise, the ones who become unforgettable, they don't run from pain. They repurpose it. She left? Good. Now you've got fuel. She gave up? Even better. Now you've got focus. Because once you channel heartbreak into a mission, you stop being a victim and start becoming the storm. This is where 99% of guys stay stuck. They stay in that loop of replaying what went wrong, what they should have said, what they could have done differently. And every time they revisit the past, they bleed power. But you choose a different path. You take all that intensity, that heartbreak, and you pour it into progress. You hit the gym like a machine. You stack money with intention. You build discipline that doesn't flinch. And she starts to feel that shift, even if you never say a word. Purpose is magnetic. When she sees you locked in, on your grind, building something real, chasing goals that don't involve her, she starts to feel the sting. Because now, your life is moving without her. Your evolution doesn't include her. That's the emotional twist she never prepared for. You've turned the loss into leverage. This principle is straight from Stoicism. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." That breakup, that pain, it's a gift. It's showing you who you are without her, what you're made of when there's nothing left to lean on. And when you rise from that darkness with purpose burning in your chest, you become more than just a man she left. You become the man she can't ignore. You don't post it. You don't flaunt it. You live it, quietly, ruthlessly. Let your progress echo where your words used to be. Let your new purpose speak so loud she feels it without ever seeing you again. Number 6. Unbothered. Energy is addictive. Nothing scrambles her brain more than seeing you completely unbothered. not pretending, not posting quotes about moving on, but actually living like she never broke you. Because here's the truth. Women don't regret leaving a man who begs. They regret losing the one who thrives without them. The more calm and focused you are, the more she feels the absence of your chaos. The less you react, the more she feels the weight of her decision. Most guys think they need to show strength by acting cold, but fake detachment leaks. It's in the tone of your texts, the timing of your posts. The emotional residue still lingers. But when you truly stop caring, not in a bitter way, but in a liberated way, you start radiating something she can't ignore: peace. And peace is rare, especially from someone who once burned with passion for her. When that fire turns inward and your energy becomes still, she starts to miss the version of you that no longer exists. From a psychological lens, this is all about contrast. She remembers the emotional version of you, the one who cared too much. Now, you're laughing, you're building, you're glowing, you're not chasing. That contrast digs into her mind. She expected you to collapse, and you elevated. That hits the ego hard. She thought she had you pinned emotionally. Now she's looking at a man who doesn't flinch. The Stoics had this mastered. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Being unbothered doesn't mean you didn't feel it. It means you ruled over the storm instead of letting it own you. It means your emotions are no longer currency she can trade on. It means her power over you is dead. And the craziest part, the more unbothered you are, the more obsessed she becomes. Because now she has to prove her worth. Now she has to earn your attention. You've flipped the entire dynamic without saying a word. Number 7. Stop explaining. Start elevating. You don't owe her a monologue. You don't need to explain why you're silent, why you've pulled back, or why you're focused on yourself now. She made her decision. Let her sit with it. Every time you try to explain your worth, your pain, your loyalty, you shrink your power. Because the men who actually level up, they don't talk about it, they live it. They move in silence, and their evolution does all the explaining. When you stop trying to be understood, you start to become unforgettable. Because silence is final. It tells her, you had access, and now it's gone. And that absence, that unanswered question, drives curiosity. You're no longer trying to make her see your side. You're just rising, quietly, powerfully. You're elevating in a way that leaves no room for old conversations or closure. You've outgrown them, and her. There's a dark psychological edge to this too. When someone expects a response and doesn't get one, it creates internal tension. The brain wants resolution, but when you say nothing, you force her to create the ending herself, and that ending, it always hits harder when it comes from the silence, because she's left to imagine the version of you she can't talk to anymore. And the story she writes in her mind, it's never gentle. Stoicism thrives on this discipline. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Don't argue. Don't justify. Don't break character for someone who couldn't handle your depth. Elevate without announcement. Become the man she can't reach, not because you're playing games, but because you've outpaced her emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Let your glow-up haunt her. Let your silence echo, and let your rise make the loudest noise of all, not through explanation, but transformation. Number 8. Let her chase the ghost. Here's the twist she never saw coming. You became the one that got away. Not because you ran, not because you played hard to get, but because you truly let go. No breadcrumbs, no check-ins, no little, "I'm still here if you need me" gestures. You vanished, not out of spite, but out of strength. And now she's chasing a ghost, a memory, a presence that once poured into her and now feels completely out of reach. At first, she enjoys the space. She posts, she parties, she pretends. But time has a way of peeling the mask off, and eventually she starts scrolling through your old messages. She visits your profile more often. She remembers the way you used to look at her, how it felt to be wanted, deeply, fiercely. But now that energy is gone, and it's killing her, because she doesn't get to feel it anymore. And worse, she doesn't know who gets it now. Psychologically, this is emotional deprivation. You've removed the dopamine she used to get from your attention. The validation is gone. The emotional safety net, cut. And what's left behind is a haunting feeling. Did I lose something I'll never find again? That's the question looping in her mind. And the more she feels it, the more obsessed she becomes with something she once dismissed. From a Stoic lens, this is about withdrawal, not to punish her, but to protect your peace. Epictetus taught, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. When you pull away for real, not as a tactic, but as a truth, you free yourself from emotional slavery. You stop being a source of comfort for someone who chose to leave. And that freedom, it creates gravity. She feels it, she senses it, and she starts chasing not the man you were, but the ghost of who you used to be. Let her wonder what happened. Let her replay the old moments. Let her chase the version of you that no longer exists, because you're not trying to prove you were worth keeping. You're becoming the man she'll never get back. Number 9. Emotional detachment equals pure power. The moment you stop needing her is the moment she starts needing you. It's not a game, it's gravity. Emotional detachment is pure power because it breaks the chain that kept you bound to her validation, her attention, her approval. When you detach, you stop giving her the ability to shift your mood, to live rent-free in your head, to control your narrative. You take your power back, not with aggression, but with indifference. That's what really scares her. Not your anger, not your sadness, but your peace. Because when she sees that she no longer has emotional influence over you, she feels the void she once filled. And unlike silence, which is passive, detachment is active. It's not just avoiding contact, it's cutting the cord internally. It's when her name pops up and your pulse doesn't change, when her posts don't trigger jealousy or nostalgia, when you stop watching, reacting, or wondering. You're no longer emotionally available, and that absence hits harder than any goodbye. From a psychological perspective, detachment is withdrawal of supply. You were a source of emotional energy, whether she appreciated it or not. But now, you're no longer giving her that energy. That withdrawal creates a craving, and cravings lead to obsession, not because you're playing her, but because you finally stopped playing yourself. You've recentered, you've outgrown the need to be chosen. This is Stoicism in its purest form. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's what detachment is. Not numbness, not cold-heartedness. It's clarity, it's control, it's freedom from the emotional roller coaster. You're not avoiding your emotions. You've learned how to command them. And when she realizes she no longer has the ability to reach you emotionally, that's when the regret sets in. You become untouchable, not because you're hiding, but because you've leveled up. You no longer react, because her access to your emotions has expired. Number 10. Be the storm she can't predict. Predictability kills power. The moment she thinks she's got you figured out, your patterns, your reactions, your emotions, she stops respecting you. But when you become unpredictable, calm one day and unreachable the next, focused and detached with zero explanation, you become the storm. Not the tantrum kind, the quiet one, the one she didn't see coming but can't ignore. You don't need to be cold or fake mysterious. You just need to stop showing your hand. Stop oversharing. Stop giving her easy access to your thoughts and feelings. Let her guess. Let her assume. Let her be wrong. Because uncertainty triggers curiosity. And curiosity is the foundation of obsession. She needs contrast to feel desire. Comfort never shook her. Confusion will. Here's the truth. The man who can be calm without being passive and assertive without chasing becomes unforgettable. One day she sees you locked into your goals. The next you're silent, unfazed, nowhere to be found. She can't predict what you're thinking. She can't time your moves. She can't get a read on you anymore. And that frustrates her, because now she's not sure where she stands with you. And when a woman doesn't know where she stands, she starts reaching. From a dark psychology angle, this is the loss of control. And people hate losing control. When you were predictable, she had the upper hand. But now, the roles reversed. You've detached, you've elevated, and you've become a version of yourself that doesn't explain, doesn't chase, doesn't break pattern. Because there is no pattern. There's only presence, confidence, calm unpredictability. The storm that she feels but can't see coming. The Stoics lived in this mindset. Controlled but never soft. Present but never predictable. You want to haunt her long after the breakup? Don't be the guy who lost control. Be the man she never fully understood. The one she thought she could walk away from. Until she couldn't stop wondering where he went. If you made it this far, you already know. This isn't about playing games. It's about rising, becoming, reclaiming every ounce of power you gave away. She expected weakness. You gave her silence. She expected chaos. You gave her control. She expected the same version of you to linger. But that man's gone. You didn't just survive the breakup, you transformed through it. And that one behavior, your detachment, will haunt her far longer than your words ever could. Remember, this isn't about revenge. It's about mastery, self-respect, emotional discipline. You're not chasing closure anymore. You are the closure. You've stopped explaining. You've stopped reacting. You've stopped making yourself easy to access. You are now the loss she never saw coming. Thank you for watching Stoic Blessing. If this spoke to your situation, if it sparked something inside you, show it. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of clarity. And drop a final comment below. I am no longer available to the past. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay silent, stay untouchable.